Okay, so the focus of this video is going to be cutter comp options in Mastercam. All right, basically what I have programmed here, if we go to backplot and watch this run, is a straight lead in and then go around a 2-inch diameter circle, which will give us a 1-inch radius, which is nice and easy to see the cutter comp moves and what the software is kicking out for code. Okay, so again, 2-inch diameter circle. I can go up in here into drafting and put this on there just for your reference. Okay, I have a simple contour, and again, we will watch that run again just to show you. Lead in, cut around, lead out. All right. This is not particularly a efficient tool path. I didn't change any speeds and feeds or anything like that. It's just a 1/2-inch cutter. The main goal of this is to show just the cutter comp options. Okay, we're going to select contour. In parameters, you will see under cut parameters the compensation type that I mentioned. This checkbox is very powerful. It changes your code somewhat drastically. All right, we will take a look at the different options: computer, control, and wear. We will also look at off. I will skip reverse wear for now because I find it not very useful. I have not used it a lot. All right, have not really had a reason to, so we'll focus on these 4 and skip reverse wear. Let's go to control first. We'll hit green check, and we will post this code. I'm going to label it as control and overwrite the existing example. And we'll take a look at what the code actually looks like. And I will save each one of these and show you at the end. Again, every one of these programs is going to be the same for Mastercam. The only thing I'm changing is the compensation type, and we were looking at the resulting code. Okay, so we take a look. Check tool 1, work offset's the same. All right, look at line 170. And this is a big one. Okay, cutter comp to the left because we are going clockwise. I'm sorry, around the circle. D1 going to X minus 1.0. So there's the 1-inch radius. Okay, lead in with the modal command here. Clockwise all the way around. Look at your X, Y, I, and J's. See a bunch of 1 inches. Cutter comp cancel when you lead off. Okay, make sure that the thing, Mastercam tends to do it efficiently, but if you are hand programming, make sure it's very good practice, especially when learning, to lead on and lead off the same amount. Okay, so take a look. This is control. What control needs from you is the diameter of the end mill in the controller, hence the control method. Okay, this program, if you do not put the diameter of the control in the controller in the D1 area in your work offs area, tool offsets, you're going to cut the radius of the tool or the diameter of the tool on both sides undersize. Okay, because it's not compensating for the radius of the cutter. Hence, the control method. It requires a control input. Okay, let's minimize the screen. I will leave control.nc open so we can compare later in this video. Let's go back to parameters. Let's change to computer. Green check. Regenerate the operation. Let's look at it in backplot. Not much of a difference. Maybe a little bit more lead in, but nothing major. Okay, I don't recall, but it's the same program. Okay, as far as Mastercam concerned, the only thing I changed was the compensation type. Now I will post this. I will save it as computer. And we will take a look at computer. Notice, okay, it is offsetting the radius of the cutter. Everything is increased by 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so using computer, all of the tool compensation as far as the cutter comp is not done with G41 or 42, or it has nothing to do with the actual controller. All of your tool offsetting is done in code. Hence, all right, going to X minus 1 1/4, which since this is 1 inch, it's going right here numerically. Okay, there's no cutter comp at all. The only no cutter comp in the terms of G41 or 42. The compensation is done numerically. Hence, computer does all the work. Pros and cons here. It's good if you don't want your operators to have controller offsets. Okay. The problem is you really can't edit much of the machine. Right? You have to go back to the software. Let's go back to parameters and let's go to where. Select green check. Regenerate the op. Take a look and I'll show you. It is almost identical. I don't see any changes. Well, it is identical. Not almost. All right, let's post it. We're going to post this and save it as where. Where is now open. Now take a look at what where kicks out. Where kicks out the G41D1 just like the control method, but it also numerically offsets the cutter like the computer method. So you can think of where as a combination of control and computer. Okay? On most controllers, there is a column for the actual tool diameter in your tool offsets as well as a where option, hence the where method. What this allows you to do is compensate for, let's say, a resharpened end mill or comping the part into size with the G41D1 option to look in the controller for your size changes, but it does not require any large diameters in the controller. This is good in a lot of instances where you want the operator or yourself, let's say, to have some variables as far as comping, getting the part into spec, maybe some resharps to an extent, but they don't want them changing large sizes or changing tools too drastically. I tended to use the where option often. I find it to be happy medium between the two, but I am usually between where and control. Okay, so before we compare all three going through, I will go back to Mastercam, and I will go to parameters. I will select off, green check, repost the operation, or regenerate the operation, post it again, name it off. Okay, and hopefully it's in here, off.nc, here it is. Notice there is no, as you can imagine, cutter compensation at all. People ask, why would you need this? Well, one big reason I use this if I'm doing single point engraving. It is very useful. The contour tool path is very useful for single point engraving with, let's say, a 60 degree or included 45 degree cutter. I find it very useful for that, but I have not used the off cutter comp method for anything but engraving so far, I guess, in my career. So we'll go back. Again, Mastercam looks the same. The only variable we're changing is the compensation type, which in contour for our example is in cut parameters top left right here. Let's go back to the code expert, and there's off, which has no comp, where, which does offer the G41 cutter comp code with a D1 offset, which allows you to type in the where column of the machine, and it is also offsetting the radius of the cutter numerically. Computer offers no cutter compensation, so you cannot edit at the control easily, at least the controllers that I run. Okay, but it does offset the tool. All right, one shot, 1/4 inch. Control, the program offers no numerical cutter compensation, so everything is required of the controller. If you want the most flexibility, I recommend control. If you are hand programming, I also recommend this method, part line programming, because it allows you to write code if you have the wrong cutter or you make a mistake or the cutter breaks and you don't have, let's say you got to go to 9/16 from a half-inch program or half-inch cutter program. You can easily do so by changing the controller within reason. You can't go crazy without a lot of changes. Okay, so again, there's control, line 170, computer, okay, line 170, where, line 170, and off, line 170. Okay. I hope you found this useful. Cutter compensation is a very powerful tool. I constantly use it. I think it's very, why wouldn't you use it? All right. If you have any further questions, leave them in the comments below. If not, I will talk to you in the next video.